The Philippines has always been at the crossroads of global power. For centuries, empires, traders, and superpowers have passed through its islands, drawn by its location, its people, and its untapped potential. But here's something you might not expect. In 2025, one European nation is suddenly paying more attention to the Philippines than ever before. That country is Germany. At first glance, it might sound unusual. Germany, thousands of miles away, sitting at the heart of Europe. Why should it care about an island nation in Southeast Asia? But recent moves show that Berlin's interest in Manila is not only real, but also strategic. In fact, Germany is fast becoming one of the Philippines' most important new partners. So, why does Germany suddenly care? And why should the rest of the world pay attention to this shift? Let's break it down. The turning point. Germany and the Philippines sign a defense pact. In 2025, Germany and the Philippines signed a historic defense cooperation agreement. This was not just a ceremonial handshake. It covered some of the most crucial areas of modern security: cybersecurity, military logistics, armaments development, and peacekeeping cooperation under the United Nations. This means that Germany is no longer looking at the Philippines simply as a trading partner. Instead, it sees the Philippines as a frontline state in a region that has become the hottest geopolitical flashpoint of our time: the South China Sea. Germany's new Indo-Pacific strategy? Why the sudden pivot? To understand Germany's interest, you need to look at its Indo-Pacific strategy. For years, European nations stayed away from the disputes in the South China Sea, considering them too distant or irrelevant. But as global trade and supply chains run through this region, Germany realized it can no longer stand back. After all, more than 40% of Europe's trade passes through Indo-Pacific sea routes. Any conflict in these waters would hit Germany's economy hard. That's why Germany recently deployed warships to the Philippines, something almost unthinkable a decade ago. Their message was clear. Germany supports freedom of navigation, international law, and the defense of smaller nations standing up to larger powers. Marcos and Merz, a high-level connection. The partnership isn't just about military hardware, it's also about leadership. In July 2025, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. of the Philippines held a phone call with German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. They talked about defense, regional stability, and, importantly, expanding economic cooperation. Merz even invited Marcos to visit Berlin soon. This is a big deal, because for decades the Philippines was mostly ignored by Germany, overshadowed by its ties to bigger Asian economies like China and Japan. But now Manila is being treated as a strategic ally, not just another country in Asia. So what makes the Philippines so important in Germany's eyes? Strategic location. The Philippines sits right at the gateway of the South China Sea, one of the busiest trade routes in the world. Whoever controls this region holds leverage over global commerce. Reliable democracy. While many nations in the region face authoritarian shifts, the Philippines stands as a democratic partner that shares Germany's values of rule of law and international cooperation. Military cooperation. Germany has peacekeeping expertise, while the Philippines has real-world experience in conflict zones. Together they can create a stronger presence in both Asia and UN operations abroad, countering influence. Germany knows that ignoring Southeast Asia would only leave a vacuum for other powers to fill. By working with the Philippines, Berlin ensures it has a voice in shaping the future of this critical region. This isn't just talk. Germany has already started making tangible contributions. They're donating surveillance drones to the Philippines to strengthen maritime monitoring. There are also joint naval exercises with the Philippine Coast Guard. Plus, scholarships and training programs for Filipino officers to study defense strategy in Europe. These may sound small compared to the United States-Philippines alliance, but they mark a major shift. Germany is now present in the region, something that would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. Here's the bigger picture. Germany's interest in the Philippines isn't just about two countries. It signals a global realignment. Think about it. For years, the Philippines was mostly caught between the United States and China. Washington offered military protection, Beijing offered economic deals, and Manila was left juggling the two. But now, Europe is stepping in. Germany, the largest economy in Europe, is saying, "We're here too, and we stand with the Philippines." This adds a new layer to global politics. It means the Philippines is no longer a pawn in a US-China rivalry. Instead, it's becoming a hub where East and West meet, with growing attention, respect, and investment from all sides. What's fascinating is how quietly this is happening. Unlike dramatic press releases or headline-grabbing alliances, Germany's involvement has been calm, steady, and strategic. This quiet approach actually makes it more powerful, because it shows that Germany is not here for the cameras, it's here for the long game. And that long game could redefine how the Philippines is seen globally, not as a small country struggling in the shadows of giants, but as a respected partner shaping the balance of power in Asia. Why it matters for Filipinos. For the Filipino people, this shift could mean several things. More investment from Europe, creating jobs and opportunities. Stronger security partnerships, reducing vulnerability to external threats. Global recognition, boosting national pride and international influence. It's a reminder that the Philippines is not just a small player, it's becoming a stage where the world's powers must pay attention, and where Filipinos themselves can stand tall. So, why does Germany suddenly care about the Philippines? Because it sees what many in the world are just beginning to realize. The Philippines is not just an island nation in Asia, it is a strategic cornerstone of the 21st century. And why should the world care too? Because as history shows, the fate of global powers often turns on what happens in small but vital places like the Philippines. Germany has seen it. Now the question is, how long before the rest of the world wakes up to the same truth?